Oh boy, it's happening again. The Mets just keep losing. They keep losing. And today it especially hit home, especially hit close, because Noah Syndergaard has signed a 1-year, $21 million deal with the Los Angeles Angels. Only $3 million more than the qualifying offer the Mets offered him. The Mets essentially lost out on a guy like Noah Syndergaard for $3 million. Now, while I'm upset emotionally about this move, my brain is somehow getting into a space where I go, okay, maybe this might be okay. And maybe that's just my own messed up brain because I have been emotionally tortured by the Mets for 25 years of my life. But I actually think that there's a way where this isn't a bad move for the Mets and is also still a good move for the Angels, even though everybody on Twitter seems to be saying they overpaid for Syndergaard, which I actually disagree with, and I'll tell you why. I actually really like this move by the Angels. Again, it's 1 year, $21 million. The Angels have no pitching. They got some pitching that I think is going to end up actually being pretty good. There is some risk here without a doubt, but overall, I do like this move for the Angels. I'm just sad that the Mets didn't get it. Also, some other news going around baseball, keeping it on the Mets. The Mets got a new GM here. Former Angels GM, Billy Eppler. Yeah, we got a lot to talk about. As well as Jose Berrios signed a 7-year, $131 million extension with the Toronto Blue Jays. Wow, what a move that was. Before I get going into breaking down all the information and news that I just told you about, make sure you guys do drop a like on this video if you do enjoy it. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on any of the content coming at you all off season long. Get in the comment section down below. Let me know what you think about the Syndergaard signing, Jose Berrios signing, anything going on in Major League Baseball, and follow me on all my social media at GiraffeNeckMarc, links in the description. So yeah, while I was sleeping again, Jeff Passan dropped a classic Passan bomb on us. Noah Syndergaard is signing a 1-year, $21 million contract with the Los Angeles Angels. This one stinks. You guys know I'm a Mets fan. You guys know I like Syndergaard. He was one of my favorite players during his time with the New York Mets. So this one hurts, especially when you see Noah Syndergaard talk about how much he wanted to be back in New York and pitch for the Mets again, and we saw him throw those 2 innings this year, and it basically seemed like all signs were signaling that Noah Syndergaard was going to come back to the Mets as long as they gave him the qualifying offer. And then there was those weird rumors where the Mets weren't going to give him a qualifying offer because they thought they could undercut him and get him for less. And I feel like those rumors coming out almost even play into this entire idea that Noah Syndergaard went elsewhere. The fact that the Mets wanted to try and cheap out on him, wanted to try and spend less money, I'm sure wasn't something that felt right to Noah Syndergaard, and I can't blame him. Right now, the way the Mets are being run, the way the Mets have been over, I don't know, the last 20 years, I don't blame Noah Syndergaard for wanting to run for the hills, especially when he's getting offered more money with the Los Angeles Angels. $3 million more, while it's not a whole lot of money, it is still more, and to get away from the dysfunction that has been the New York Mets, I mean, up until last night, and I think technically still, we don't have a GM and free agency has started. There's a lot of dysfunction, there's a lot of issues going on with the Mets. I can't blame him for going to Los Angeles. Now, for you Angels fans, I actually think that this move, while it is expensive, $21 million by no means is cheap, I'm not going to take that angle like I have with some other deals. I think it's worth it. I think that this is a risk that could end up being high risk, high reward. Now, of course, guys, coming off of Tommy John surgery, typically don't have the greatest years off of their injury. And for Noah Syndergaard, a guy who hasn't really pitched in 2 years, he's thrown 2 innings, and that was last year, only throwing fastballs, by the way, there's definitely some concern. But I don't think that the Angels are particularly worried about that with a full offseason. Got a lot of time to get him healthy and get him back to where he needs to be, which can be a top-line pitcher. Now, I know a lot of us haven't seen Noah Syndergaard pitch at a high level in multiple years, but you gotta look back at what Noah Syndergaard had before this injury, and it jumps off the page. I mean, this is a guy who throws a fastball 100 miles an hour, 98, 99, 100, 101, whatever you want to call it. Noah Syndergaard has one of the hardest fastballs in the league for a starting pitcher. He had a slider at one point that was devastating. I mean, untouchable by hitters. He has ace quality stuff. This is a guy who can be a frontline starter, something that the Angels have been missing for a while. Now, of course, they have Ohtani, who I think is going to take over that ace role officially. Now he's going to be healthy for a full season in terms of his arm health. Ohtani's the ace. You have Syndergaard to throw in there. It's a really good start. It's not the end-all, be-all. They definitely still need a lot more pitching, but I like the idea of going for this high-risk, high-reward when you're the Angels. Plus, I believe Perry Minasian was in Toronto when Noah Syndergaard was technically a part of that organization, so the ties and the connection make sense. Minasian, Toronto, now in LA. Syndergaard, Toronto, now in LA. Like, it pains me. It pains me for sure as a Mets fan that Syndergaard is gone. But I really do wish the best for him. I hope he pitches really well in Los Angeles. It's only a 1-year deal. He can come back to the Mets if he wants to next offseason. That's where my crazy Mets brain is going now, by the way. Is that, okay, we'll let the Angels use him, get him healthy, and then the Mets can sign him next year. Like, I'm just so messed up in the head. I'm beyond repair. And I know I'm all over the place here, so let's jump back to what I was talking about. Noah Syndergaard's quality as a pitcher. I mentioned this a lot yesterday with Eduardo Rodriguez, and even more so with Noah Syndergaard. This is super interesting. interesting. Average exit velos, and I know that's not the end-all be-all, but that being said, Syndergaard, a guy who throws consistently harder than most starting pitchers in baseball, when he was healthy, he was like top 10 percentile in average exit velo. Guys were not making particularly hard contact on him on a consistent basis. He's had a K rate approach 30%, all the way back in 2016 when arguably he was at his best. He's had hard hit rates in the top 10%. He's had expected ERAs and expected stats all in the top 10 percentiles. He had 4 really good pitches with that fastball, that changeup, that slider, that curveball, all very good pitches, all of which that didn't get hit very well. He was a very good pitcher, and I know that it's hard to say that now because it has been quite some time since we've seen Noah Syndergaard really pitch effectively or even pitch at all, but I always think back to that 2016 season, and maybe it's foolish of me, that's 5 years ago, but in that 2016 season, Noah Syndergaard, 30 starts, 2.6 ERA, a whip at 1.149, a FIP at 2.29. This is a guy who can just strike out everybody. This is a guy who can dominate hitters. This is a guy who can be a frontline rotation starter. Will he be that next year? I'm not sure. Again, coming off Tommy John is always a risk. It's always scary. But based on Eduardo Rodriguez's contract and Andrew Haney's and some of the other guys that have been moving, it seems like Noah Syndergaard at 1 year, 20 million, or 21 million actually, is probably going to end up being the market value for somebody like him. The Angels jumped the market, 1 year deal. The risk is in the 1 year because you don't know what you're getting. But really at the end of the day, it's not like they signed this big long-term contract. It's 1 year, 21 million. I think it's well worth the risk because you could be getting a guy who could be a frontline starter for a team that has absolutely, or I shouldn't say absolutely, has little to no starting pitching. I like the move. I like the move. I put my Mets hat on. I hate it because I want Syndergaard on the Mets. But now the spin zone here, I think it can end up being good for the Mets. This money can now be spent elsewhere on pitchers that we know could make a lot of appearances for us. A guy like Marcus Stroman maybe, who can make like 30 plus starts in a season every given year because he's just healthy like that. That $21 million that we saved this year could be going to a guy like him. That's yet to be seen. Billy Eppler, the new GM, who I'm not particularly excited about because he was in LA during all those bad seasons where they gave out some bad contracts and they didn't win many games and they didn't have a lot of starting pitching. Well, he's now the GM of the Mets apparently. I don't know if it's official, but it seems like it's gonna happen officially at any given moment. Yeah, he's now the Mets GM. Not particularly excited about that. Prove me wrong, Billy Eppler. I hope so. The fact that Noah Syndergaard just went right under our nose kind of stinks. And then the last and final bit of news that I want to talk about is also in the starting pitching market, and that's Jose Berrios signing a 7-year extension with the Toronto Blue Jays for $131 million, which, oh my God, what an insanely good contract that is. I can't believe the Blue Jays got it for so cheap. 7 for 133, that's less than $20 million a year. That is just, that's nothing. It's really nothing at the end of the day for AAV, for a guy who can be a top of the rotation kind of pitcher. I don't think he's an ace. I don't think he's a number 1, but I think he can very well slot in as a 2. And even then, semantics at that point. People thought Zach Wheeler couldn't be an ace, and boy, were we wrong about that. Not me, but people. And Jose Berrios ended up pitching pretty well in Toronto. While there were some rough starts here and there, he ended up with a 3.58 ERA, a whip at 1.09. I mean, that is all really good stuff. $20 million a year for a guy who can be a front 1, 2, 3 starter in your rotation is really good. And the Blue Jays, who I think are probably losing Robbie Ray now based on this Jose Berrios signing, I don't know. It at least feels like it to me. Really, really smart move. Like this is so cheap. You're getting Jose Berrios' years from age 28 to what? 33, 34, and you're paying him only $20 million a year or less than that on AAV. I absolutely love this contract by the Blue Jays. This was really smart. This was really savvy. And it makes me wonder, like, what is the pitching market going to look like? Because we just saw Noah Syndergaard get $21 million for a single season coming off of Tommy John surgery, only throwing 2 innings in the last 2 years. You saw Eduardo Rodriguez get 5 for 77. You saw Jose Berrios get 7 for 131. I know he's not in the free agent market, but he did sign a new contract essentially. Andrew Haney got some money. I don't know where the money's going here. It seems like on the 1-year deals, they are definitely going to bump up the AAV. They're definitely going to throw you more money in 1 year than they would over an extended period of time, and that makes sense. It's typically how contracts work. I feel like for these pitchers, especially who aren't these established dominant aces. But you have guys like Justin Verlander, who are Cy Young Award winners coming off Tommy John surgery. What does he get now? You have a guy like Max Scherzer, who is a Cy Young Award winner, who is very healthy, who is going to be one of the best pitchers in baseball again next year. What does he get paid? What does Zach Greinke get paid? What does Robbie Ray, Carlos Rodon? I don't know what the starting pitching market's going to look like because to me, it feels like it's all over the place. But right now, it's signaling at least that if you're going short term, you're going to get more AAV, kind of like Trevor Bauer. And if you're going long term, it's going to be a little bit less, kind of like Jose Berrios and Eduardo Rodriguez. Overall on the day, though, in the moves, Noah Syndergaard to the Angels, I do think it's a good move. I think it's a good risk. I'm sad as a Mets fan, but I like the move as the Angels. You're getting aggressive, something that I have begged you to do on the free agent market for the last 3 or 4 years, something that everybody's been begging you to do on the free agent market. You can't say the Angels don't sign pitching and then get mad at them when they do, especially when it's a guy who could have huge upside. Super low floor, super high ceiling with Noah Syndergaard. I like the risk. Jose Berrios contract extension, absolutely love it. No brainer, fantastic deal. I mean, he's very, very good. He's very good, especially at that price range. And the Mets got a new GM. I'd love to know what you guys are thinking about all these moves down in the comment section below. What are your thoughts and opinions? Do you like the move by Noah Syndergaard going to the Angels? Do you like Berrios re-signing with the Blue Jays? Let me know your thoughts. Drop a like on the video if you did enjoy it, as well as subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on any of the content coming at you all off season long. Follow me on all my social media at GiraffeNeckMarc, links in the description. That's where I'm wrapping up today's video. You guys know the drill from here on out. YouTube recommends you watch this video. This is my most recent upload. Click through those if you have not yet seen them. Click the E-Rod video, please. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you all tomorrow for another video. Bye.